What's up, Dallas Fan Festival? Hope you're all having a fantastic Fan Festival day 2, and we are really getting things going. We are so excited to have this gentleman, our guest of honor here. Just a few quick reminders and orders of business. Of course, the actor strike is still ongoing, and so because of that, we are not able to take questions from the audience, and we are not able to talk about struck work. But I believe limitations breed innovation, and so we get to kind of get into some more fun areas that we don't normally get into in these conversations because we have to talk about all that stuff. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun conversation. I appreciate y'all all understanding and working with us on that. But now that stuff is out of the way, let's bring him out. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big Texas-sized welcome to Mr. Paul Bettany. I do have to just say, sir, you're such a vision here. All right, that's it. Get it out of the way.
You're gonna have that comedy gold the whole
like I said, I mean, this allows us to kind of get into not talking about your roles, but your process of these roles. We all, know and love, and a little bit more about you.
I have a process.
You have a well, maybe you don't. Maybe you just slap the makeup on and go out and fly around. We don't
aim for the clock on the back wall and hope for the best.
There we go. We're gonna find out. Let's take it all the way back. You're growing up in London. What first drew you to want to become an actor?
Well, it kind of happened in stages, but the first thing was seeing Star Wars. I lie now and I say that it was when I first saw Cassavetes movies, but it's not. It was when I first saw Star Wars, and it took me out of this grey, miserable 1970s London into this magical world where a kid from nowhere could be somebody special, and that, I think that's when it began. But for a long while, I wanted to be a guitar player. That's what I wanted to do. I still play it badly, which is why I became an actor.
Yeah. Which, of course, we can't talk about it, but just hearing you say that, thinking about how, in general, full circle your career has been, and how that must feel now to get to be a part of those things.
Oh, yes. When I went on the set of the thing that we can't talk about.
Right, yes. The thing that's far away.
Yeah, exactly. And I first saw this, little thing that rhymes with Barfu P. I had chills, and then chills, and it was like my first day on a set ever again. And then when I met somebody who rhymes with Poo-taka, I melted. It was amazing.
And then going all the way back, when you start acting, when did that really first feel like, oh, this is more than just a dream. This feels more than just far away. This feels like a reality that I can do this.
Well, that's a long process, right? Because I'm not sure I'm there yet, because I still think when I finish a job, I think I'm never going to work again. Nobody's ever going to hire me ever again. So I still have that feeling.
Yeah. Is there somebody that has been kind of a constant? I have a feeling I know one person in your life that's been a constant encouragement that you share with this. We'll get to her, don't worry. Is there somebody that kind of in your life has encouraged you every step of the way from that start? Just said, hey, don't give up, don't stop.
No. So, some of the best advice I ever got was give up. And I mean it. It's very rare to be able to make a living doing this and to have somebody say, unless you have to do it, give up.
Yeah.
And then you go, I have to do it.
Yeah.
And if you have to do it, you have to do it.
Yeah.
So that kind of really honest advice was really great because it focuses. I'm not talking to this side. It focuses. It focuses your mind. You know?
Well, that's perfect, because my next question was going to be, what advice do you have to people who want to be actors? Just give up.
What advice? Honestly and truly, I don't know how young'uns coming up in this business do it anymore. Like I guess they do self-tapes, and it just sounds awful to me. You know, I used to go in a room and meet human beings and be able to talk to actual humans, and now all of that seems to have gone, and you just tape yourself with an iPhone and then send it in. It's just so I don't know, but the only advice I can give is there is a great way of failing upwards. So I always kept my spirits in good stead, because when I didn't get a job, I knew there were 20 different reasons before they got to my talent as to why I didn't get the job. And the only thing that you can control is how hard you have worked on the audition.
Yeah.
So I knew I might not be the best looking actor walking through the door, the most talented, the most appropriate for the role, the most famous, that's going to bring more money to that production, but I'm absolutely going to be the most prepared. And so when that better looking, more talented, more famous actor quits the job 2 weeks out from the film starting, and they go, who was that kid that knocked it out of the park?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that's my advice to young people getting into this business is be the most prepared. You can't control any of the other stuff. Just be the most prepared person who walks in.
Absolutely. Do you have, like, you know, a lot of actors you talk about, they love the audition process and they are prepared, or they feel like they have a really hard time with it and can't really shine until they're on set. Do you have you've been in so many things that I would imagine are challenging to prepare for as an audition without getting to live in that world? Do you have a memorable audition that comes to mind?
Oh yeah, I do. I auditioned for a movie that I can't mention, and I was a young actor. I hadn't done anything yet, and I saw we did the scene, and then I saw the director of the movie pull the actor who was reading in aside and whisper in his ear. And when you see that happen, you know you're either going to get slapped or spat on to try and sort of shock you into some performance. So I was waiting for it, and the actor spat on me, and I punched him out. And then I looked at the director and I said, not till you fucking pay me. And I went down.
If ever you come back and we are able to talk about it, we are definitely going to ask you what movie that was and what actor that was, so remember. So let's kind of move on from acting to get to know you, Paul.
Should we dim the lights?
Yeah, dim the lights. I like how they made it kind of color-coded.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Kind of themed. So you mentioned wanting to be a guitar player. If you weren't an actor, what would you be?
Brain surgeon.
Just straight from acting to brain surgery.
I've done it in a movie.
And we know you're very prepared, so you know how to do it.
I might be great at it. I don't know.
Do we have anybody that would elect to get brain surgery here? All right, we got y'all are sick. You're all sick people.
No, seriously though, I really love playing guitar, and we have a place up in Vermont, and I have a band room in there and everything. My kids are great musicians, and we have lots of friends who are great musicians, and New Year's Eve we always do this great gig and everything. So it's fantastic. Family band with we have 25 people staying with us, and it gets crazy.
Oh, that's so cool. You should sell tickets to that. I'm sure people would like to watch the live stream.
Not sure.
Are there other things that would make you play guitar? Are there other things that you like to do in your free time when you're not acting to kind of unwind? Other hobbies?
Well, it would seem to me that my biggest hobby, the thing that I do most of, not working, is drive my daughter around to soccer matches, and then stand in the rain in places like Queens and stuff, and just get rained on for 2 hours. So that seems to be really what I'm doing with my spare time.
Are you an active, sports girl dad? Or are you on the sidelines yelling?
I resist yelling, but I have been known to go, referee!
Just as
That's a yellow card!
What's a guilty pleasure? What's something that we'd all be surprised that you binge watch? That's well.
I don't know if you'd be surprised, but I am a massive fan of the Great British Baking Show.
Not surprised, but also something we can all agree on.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's like having a cup of tea. It's just so lovely.
Especially on, when it's the Christmas edition.
Oh, the holiday episodes, best.
Do you bake? Are you good at baking?
I'm not a baker. We cook a lot, but I'm not the baker in the family. That's more Jennifer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you brought her up, so now we have to talk about her. It's your fault, not mine. I would love to hear, kind of two questions. First off, you've worked together a number of times. She's been in things that you've written and directed. What is that experience or process like? Is it any different? Is it?
Yes.
Is it why you don't work together anymore?
Yes. No, she is. She really, literally is the most prepared person that I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
She's so fastidious, and directing a movie is firstly about getting no sleep, and secondly, it's about being asked 1,000 questions an hour, 95% of which are, what color do you want the red shoes to be?
It's exactly like having kids.
And then 5% of the questions are just unanswerable.
Yeah.
And, and then I have a really fastidious actress in the leading role, and I happen to be living with her. And so I'll get woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning and she said, I just have an idea, can we talk about that? I'm like, no, we could go to sleep. Just go to sleep. So she was, I guess we kind of had this fantasy that we were going to be able to, have the time to discuss scenes, and when the realities of making an independent movie kick in, and every question she asked me, I just looked at her and saw a clock on her face that was ticking. I don't know, can we just shoot it? Let's just shoot something. But she saved me and made it look like I knew what I was doing, which I didn't.
Yeah. And then the second part of that is, what is it like just navigating life? You have a family, you have kids, those are your jobs. And so for both of you to be in regularly working actors, what is that like?
We try to have a rule, does get broken, but we try to have a rule where we don't work at the same time. We do one on, one off. And so I will travel with the kids when she's on set and working and deal with all of that, and then vice versa. But that gets harder as they get older and into high school and all of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's...
But working at the same time is a scheduling nightmare.
Yeah.
It's just disastrous.
Yeah.
And I hate talking about schedules. So.
Well, then we'll move on.
No. I mean, my wife loves talking about schedules.
Yeah.
Nothing that she likes more than pinning things down and getting them, organized. And I just hate any type of organization.
Yeah. That serves as our Jennifer Connelly sidebar. I hope that answered all your questions. Who is someone you'd love to meet? I'm sure you've gotten to meet a lot of your heroes, but who's somebody you'd love to meet? We'll say living, because the next question is living or dead.
That I would love to meet. Well, that's I can say who I don't know whether, I think Jodie Comer is amazing. I went to see her in a play in New York. It was the single best stage performance I've ever seen in my life. I thought she was extraordinary. I don't know about whether, it's not about meeting. I'd love to have, to work with her. That would be amazing. I think she's an extraordinary actor.
I feel like that's got to happen at some point. Who would you like to have dinner with, living or deceased? Anyone?
John Lennon.
Okay, all right. Good answer. No applause for John Lennon. Apparently, not everyone's favorite Beatle. If you had said Ringo, the crowd would have erupted.
Wild.
A lot of Ringo fans at Comic-Con. What are your fall traditions? We talked about Christmas. What are your fall traditions? Are you into Halloween and spooky season?
Oh, no, I'm not. For me, it's like a day off, People go, what are you going dressed as? And I go, myself.
Yeah.
Because it's a day off for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not working today.
Yeah.
I don't want to get dressed up as Vision? No, I really don't.
Enough other people do it for you.
Yeah. I don't want to do that. It's hot. No.
But just imagine once if you did it, how excited everyone in that neighborhood would be to see you walking around.
Yeah, maybe I'll do it, but wear one of the masks where you can't even see it's me.
Some of your fellow co-stars have been known at Comic-Cons to cosplay and walk around.
Holy cow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dedicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're, you can't tell because they're in disguise, but it's kind of a fun game of like, can you spot them on the floor?
That's actually a great idea. I might do it.
You should do it. One of your co-stars just did a Bluey cosplay.
Really?
Yeah. So maybe you could do Bluey. I don't know.
I'll definitely do that.
Yeah. Well, you started here. If you see Paul Bettany cosplay, maybe tomorrow. Maybe you
never know.
Yeah. Do you have any pets?
I do, yeah.
I mean, these are not hard-hitting journalism questions.
I do, yeah. I have a golden retriever.
Okay.
And she was. Thank you so much.
It's just a golden retriever in the audience.
I have a golden retriever. She's called Wallace, and she is amazing. She was a pandemic puppy, and she grew up in Vermont, where she thought she was the only dog in the world. And then we went back to Brooklyn, and she was like, the fuck is going on? They're everywhere! Ah! And she's terrified of all other dogs. There was a 12-year-old blind, three-legged chihuahua that lived next door to us. And my dog is just terrified. So she doesn't really come out of herself much in New York City. She's really not a city dog, so she really, she longs to get up to Vermont, where she runs wild, and there apparently are no dogs in Vermont, so she...
My last name is actually Wallace, so I'm just gonna say that Paul Bettany named his dog after me.
I did.
Yeah. Who did you actually name your dog after?
I don't know, it was my wife and kids' decision, so I don't actually know the...
Think of a Wallace. They didn't... Not Wallace Shawn. That'd be a weird name.
derivation.
Wallace and Gromit?
No, that's a Wallace, different spelling.
That's true. Oh, how do you spell it?
With an S.
Oh, weird. Alright. Well, I can say, as a fellow Wallace, we do have real golden retriever energy, and we often think we're the only dog in Vermont. So,
100%.
yeah. Who inspired you as a kid, as an actor? Who's your childhood hero? I guess you kind of answered it as John Lennon, but...
Oh, for sure. And then, in terms of actors, as a young actor, you know, it was people like Peter O'Toole and Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and, you know, all of those and Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Gary Oldman, who when I was, you know, a student of acting, was just on fire and just he's a lovely human being, by the way. Now I've got to know him, which is thrilling because he was such a hero of mine when I started the journey into acting. Yeah.
Well, let's touch on that. What's your kind of vivid memories of that first job? What was it?
Oh, my first job?
Yeah.
Oh.
You can kind of talk around.
Well, yeah. My first job was on a TV show, which was like it was like a weekly crime thing, and I was, you know, a red herring. Is really what I was, I think. And then I was on a show called The Bill, which if you're English and you haven't done The Bill, you're not a proper actor, you know. And they were sort of shot in 2 days or something like that. So hilarious. It was a seminal episode, I think, episode 560. I don't know. But those were my first sorts of job, and then I went and did a bunch of theatre.
Yeah.
And
that we can talk about.
We can talk about that. So, yeah, I went and did a play called An Inspector Calls. Thank you very much. And it was a long time ago. Yeah, and I loved it, and I realised I could sort of make I couldn't believe they were paying me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that there was a check at the end of all of this.
Yeah.
And I love doing theatre, and then I didn't do it for 25 years, and I just did it last year. Oh my God, that's proper work.
Yeah.
That's really hard.
Real actor. Yeah.
It's a young person's game, you know, like 25 years, it's different when you finish the show and you'd be crazy up, and then you'd go out with your mates to, you know, clubs and whatever, and sleep until 3, and then I'm 52 and I've got kids, and you're up you can't sleep until 3, and then you're up at 6, you know, it's like a miserable job.
I'm sure in some ways after doing all this kind of big stuff for so long, it felt, to get back on stage after all that time, it felt kind of rejuvenating in a way as an actor.
There are just so many words to say. So many words.
It's a lot of words.
Do you know them all at the same time?
I know. And there's nobody down the front with the...
No, nothing.
Yeah. Did you, as you were trying to become an actor, I'm sure you had kind of day jobs, did you have weird day jobs that you were doing?
Yeah. I like every actor ever, was a waiter. I worked as a barman. I lasted 15 minutes. I pulled a patron over the bar and hit him, and my boss really frowned on that, and I was sent home. So yeah, I had jobs like that, working in kitchens.
Yeah.
You know, I peel potatoes at a fish and chip shop.
That's a job? Just they have one guy peeling potatoes?
You're the potato peeler. I work my way up to being the fish fryer.
I guess the chips have to come from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think it's good that being an actor worked out. It sounded like you were not great at any of those jobs.
Nothing else. I mean, I was terrible at all the jobs.
Yeah.
Just awful.
One random question we have is do you have a useless talent or skill? What's your most useless talent or skill? Do you have one? Not peeling potatoes, obviously.
I don't know that I. Oh wait.
I would say if you ever find yourself as
Hunting owls.
Yeah, or like maybe one of Peter Pan's Lost Boys or something that would come in handy.
Yeah, that's good. The other thing I like to do is cosplay that I'm handy with mechanics. So I have this beautiful 1968 Land Rover Series 2, and I like to lift the hood up and lean into it as if I could do anything to make the car run better. And Jennifer's like, "What are you doing out there?" I'm working on the car, and I don't know what any of it does.
You lean into the hood and then call the guy who can help you. Yeah. Here it comes. Here's the desert island question. If you were stranded on a desert island, what movie, what TV show, and what album would you take with you?
Whoa.
I know. Hard. Yeah. Tough question.
What movie would I take with me? Do you know what? I would probably take Once Upon a Time in America.
Okay.
Which has my wife in it, as a child, and has an amazing performance by De Niro and James Woods, and is one of the film. Oh, forget my wife. I would take them first.
Okay. All right. And then TV shows, maybe British Bake Off, but
TV shows. Probably I would take. I don't know if anybody remembers The Singing Detective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably take The Singing Detective with me. And album. That is.
It's really hard.
Really hard. It's probably going to be. It's probably going to be Revolver.
All right.
The Beatles.
That's a good one. You could just say like one from the Beatles, and then you get all of them.
And you get all of them,
yeah. You know, but
the anthology.
there you go. Yeah. Let's talk about your convention experience, because you've done a few. You've of course done a lot of the ones where you were there. San Diego, but we're so excited to have you here with us in Dallas.
Thank you for having me.
Since you're still new at this, maybe it's tough to answer, but what's been your kind of most memorable convention experience thus far?
Well, there have been a few, some that are really moving and where you it's quite a surprise to realize how important some of these shows have been for people. I'm not somebody that thinks about it a lot, but it's quite moving to see that people. It has supported people through hard times. And then there are also some really funny ones, and the funniest one I think that has ever happened today. Where I was just so surprised by the interaction that I was having. Maybe they were in the audience.
They're definitely in the audience.
But this guy went, the first movie I ever saw you in was A Nice Tale. And he said, and I just hated you in that film. And I went, yeah, okay. And he said, but then I guess through the Marvel movies movies, I've come to, you know, kind of like you. And I was like, you want me to sign something? Yeah, it was hilarious.
Are you in the audience there? You have to fess that he didn't even like you enough to show up to your camera.
I would have wrestled him to the ground.
Well, I was going to ask what's one of your favorite questions you've received at the show, but that feels like it's it. I'm sure you get a lot of gifts. People make like kind of very cool art for your characters. Do you have one kind of memorable gift that someone's given you?
There is this girl who I have seen at lots of Comic-Cons, and she always cries when she sees me. She's always done this really beautiful, thoughtful artwork for me, and so yeah, that's the you know, I found that really moving. I do have some advice for people who bring gifts.
Yeah.
Don't bring food. I'm never going to eat it. You can imagine why. You just don't know.
Yeah.
And I have been given a box of chocolates that had a tracker in it.
Oh.
I'm not eating, you know, anything from somebody I've met for 10, you know, seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I gotta know you like for 3 minutes before I get it.
Right. Take word to the wise. Don't, anyone who had food for you was like putting it behind them.
Yeah, all of the artwork and stuff that people do, I find really moving. The effort and time that's gone into it. Really
just to see, you know, we were kind of talking about it, like some of the characters you play are, you know, they're not the easiest to recreate, and so seeing people show up and it looks like they're you and they've just walked off screen. It must be so cool from your perspective.
It's really cool, and all the different iterations of that, you know.
Yeah.
I saw, I can't mention it, but I can give it away by saying these two people showed up in black and white. And it was just, it was amazing.
That's so cool.
It was impressive.
Well, you kind of touched on it, but if you could cosplay as a character, what cosplay would you wear?
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly what I do. Being handy as a mechanic.
That's it.
Yeah, like pretend to be a man that can.
All right, that's good.
And the hilarity of all of it is that both my wife, myself, and indeed all of my children, my eldest son's an engineer, and he just looks at me like.
He didn't get those genes from
He makes. Oh my God! Well, I've been his dad since he was 3. He's not biologically mine, which is why he is an engineer. Because I've literally not understood a word he said to me about math since he was 5 fucking years old.
We had this problem with my 10-year-old daughter. It's that they keep changing math. They keep changing it.
Yeah, no, that's not the reason for me. My wife is, when she first went to Yale, and she was going to study physics, and so she's taken care of all of that stuff. And you might as well be talking about Tatooine to me. And I don't understand the language. I don't care to understand the language.
Right.
And I'm a, you know, my poor wife, I think what happened is she met me, I wear glasses, I have an English accent, and she thought I was just really smart.
Naturally, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Americans tend to think you're quite smart if you have a British accent and wear glasses.
And you have a particularly smart British accent too.
I can present smart. And seeing the sort of light dye in my wife's eyes over the years, she's realised just how stupid I am.
Well, it's especially, and we can't talk about it, but if you think about the movie that they met on, it's especially funny.
Yes, it's really funny.
Yeah.
And she just really, it's just been awful, just the slow dawning awareness of who she married. You know?
Have you, people give you fan art, as you said. Have you ever bought anything? Do you ever see anything? Are you a collector of kind of pop culture stuff at all? Do you ever buy anything?
No, not really. No.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I mean, what I have a problem with guitars, and I have to stay out of guitar shops because I just buy them.
Yeah.
And then I realize I've got too many guitars.
Yeah.
And then I give them away to friends. And the other day, I went around my friend's house, and we were sitting around. I was playing the guitar, and God, this guitar is great. I want a Jumbo Gibson. He went, you gave me this guitar. I gave you a Jumbo. What was I thinking? Anyway, yeah.
What's your favorite song to play? You have one go-to song? Do you feel like you're particularly mastered?
I don't know. We tend to play a lot of Nirvana, a lot of Blur, a lot of I guess what people call Britpop.
Yeah. Are you a Blur guy or are you an Oasis guy?
I'm a Blur guy.
Okay. Are you a Blur guy or a Gorillaz guy?
Oh, that's interesting. No, I love both, but I would say I'm more a Blur guy, and also Damon Albarn's solo work, like Everyday Robots, is it's a phenomenal album.
Yeah, well, this is a perfect segue. We're gonna have to wrap up soon, but we have a couple of just fun, easy this or that games that we've been playing that are very much like Blur or Oasis. So we've got these prepared for you. Okay, summer or winter?
As I get older, I like summer, but I'm a skier, so I really love winter.
Okay, novel or comic book?
Novel.
Okay, bad haircut or bad dye job?
Bad haircut.
Okay, there's no wrong answers, so it's okay. Werewolves or vampires?
Vampires.
Okay, play or musical?
Play.
Okay, art museum or history museum?
History museum, although I love art museums too.
Okay, cooking or being cooked for?
Cooking.
Board games or video games?
Oh, yeah, well, board games. I like card games specifically. Like, my wife and I have a brutal, ongoing game of cribbage that will never end. And cribbage is a counting game, and I've already explained how bad I am. That's quite why I subject myself to this much humiliation, but I don't know. The marriage seems to be lasting, so maybe it's something to do with
It's
that.
because of that card?
Yeah.
Yeah. This one might be tough as a Brit, but it's Whataburger or In-N-Out?
Oh, I've never had a Whataburger, but I've had many In-N-Outs, so I'm gonna have to go In-N-Out.
Well, Whataburger is very much a Texas thing. Yeah, I'm with you on In-N-Out.
You are?
I'm with you. And I'm a Texan, and I've been disowned as a Texan.
I mean...
Yeah. It's just fresher, okay?
I sometimes stop at the In-N-Out burger before I get to LAX, just because I'm like, I'm not going to see this thing for months.
All right, let's poll the audience. Round of applause for Whataburger. You're in Texas. Round of applause for In-N-Out.
I like In-N-Out.
Yeah, Paul said In-N-Out, so that's what won. Do you have you been to Texas a lot?
Not a lot, no. So, and I got here, I left New York at 3:45 this morning, and I'm here, and then I leave at 7 in the morning, so it's just, I've got to come and properly spend time.
Next time you come back, you'll have to have some Whataburger, you'll have to have some Tex-Mex. Dallas is the birthplace of the frozen margarita, so you have to have one of those.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Well, I love myself a frozen margarita.
Yeah. This is a weird one. Confront a goose or confront a moose?
Goose.
A goose. They're mean though.
Sure, but I met a moose in the woods at the back of my house in Vermont, and and it was a lady moose, and then I was big as the men mooses, and this thing was enormous. I shat my pants.
And then when they're
silently walked out of the undergrowth, and just I went, oh, please don't have any children nearby. It was like being in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
There for another time.
Have you ever seen? I'm sure you haven't, being from Vermont. Have you ever seen them when they shed their antlers?
Yes.
It's just like gory. And,
Yes.
Oh my god, yeah, they're terrifying. All right, last one for this game, and then we have one more, and we'll wrap up. I know the answer to this: football or soccer?
It's football.
It's football.
We use our feet.
It's football. All right. So this last game is finish the sentence. So it's, for example, something like, when I have a day all to myself, I.
My head is so bad. Oh no, that's something like me. That's like happening.
I didn't write these.
I'm not going to say it though. When I have a day to myself, I like to read the Bible. Just have to say the most unlikely thing.
That played really well here in Texas too. Let's see. Moving on. The secret to a happy life is.
Oh yeah, I can be serious about this one.
Yeah.
Having a partner who is your best friend, your super friend. Like, I think about this the whole time, like, if something funny happens to me, the first person I want to tell is Jennifer. If something bad happens to me, the first person I want to tell is Jennifer. It's just, so I think that's, for me, that's been it's made me happy. And great kids. Also, great kids who you don't allow to become feral. Because there are some feral little fuckers out there. It's like, where are your manners? Why haven't you taught your kid manners? What's going on?
You can't teach them math, but you can teach them manners.
Yeah.
If I could teleport people, I would teleport to. Where would you teleport to?
Okay, just me.
Yeah.
Can I teleport my family with me?
Yes.
I would love to be able to get to Zermatt in Switzerland, which is where I love to ski really quickly. But
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Good. I cannot stand people who.
Fart in cinemas.
It's like talking, and then right under that is being on your phone and then farting.
I mean, I went to see the Oppenheimer movie, and some guy was like
A different kind of bomb going on.
It was relentless. I'm trying to watch a really serious, important movie, and I'm just like,
I would die without.
I would die without my family.
That's a good answer. Today.
And my dog.
Today or recently, I learned how to.
Today or recently, I learned how to lie to my children about my drug use as a child.
All right. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I have never touched marijuana. It's very important to lie to your children about that, because otherwise they see you as a survivor. And they're like, all right, so you did all those things, but you came out the other side, right? So it's gonna be all right. So
never touch this stuff.
I have never touched it.
I will never forget the day when I blank.
I will never forget the day when my second born, my first, as we've gone through, is much cleverer than I am, and but not biologically mine. When I saw my son born, it's the most powerful thing I've ever felt in my life until I then saw my daughter born, and those two moments changed me forever. And you see your wife as a warrior. You know, it's the most extraordinary thing as a father.
Absolutely.
You know, and I don't know. Did you go to all the like prenatal classes?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Well, the first time, and then I was like, listen. I went to the woman who was running the class. I went, "There's nothing really for me to do." She went, "Nah, you were along for the ride."
Just here to be supportive. If I could live in another time, I would choose.
Oh my gosh, that is really hard.
It's tough.
It's really hard because there are so many things that are better now. You know, imagine living in a time before there were antibiotics, and you get a scratch and you're like, "You're dead, dude." Yes, that's me dead. But I would love, as an actor, to have lived in the 1970s.
Yeah.
I think it was in America, because I think it was the golden age of American cinema, certainly for me.
It goes back to your captivated.
Yes,
The last three, and then we'll wrap up. The one thing I will never regret is.
I don't really have many regrets. Opening a bottle of wine earlier than 5.
Okay.
You know, because you do it and you think, oh God, I really shouldn't. It's 4:30, what am I thinking? And then you're like, I'm just going to open it. It lasts half an hour, and then you have it. It's great.
Time was loose during COVID. I opened a lot of bottles of wine well before 5.
Oh my gosh, me too.
Yeah. Just don't clap for that. That's nothing about wine.
That was terrible.
The amount of full bottles of wine.
Did you ever do this where you go into the kitchen and Jen says, my wife says, "What are you doing?" You go, I'm just pouring a glass of wine. And you go, back in as if you just had you brought in one glass of wine, but actually secretly you had half a glass of wine just before you went in.
I did that, but I was by myself. There was no Jennifer Connelly in my kitchen.
So you lied to yourself.
Yes, yeah. Labyrinth was on in the background. One time a fan gave me.
Come on.
I'm sorry, I didn't write these!
Oh, that one's just so difficult to not say. One time a fan gave me. One time a fan gave me their handwritten novel.
Wow.
Outside of the theatre, and it was it was this big, and I thought, and I went, "Oh, thank you so much," and I looked at it, and it was totally incomprehensible, and I went, "Thank you so much," thinking, "Oh my, am I about to get stalked and killed?"
Yeah. So don't give them food or a handwritten novel.
Yeah, well, or maybe it could be actual words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was scarier idea than all work and no play makes Jack a dull.
There is something about the fact that it was handwritten.
Yeah.
We do live in the time of the printing press.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, last one. The last time I got starstruck was maybe between a convention or a movie you worked on or just an interaction.
This is. Okay, the last time I got starstruck was seeing Bruce Springsteen. And I was standing there backstage at a U2 concert, talking to Bono, who was, my daughter was a little baby, and we had a babysitter with us. And Bono said, "Would you like your daughter to, she can, sleep in my dressing room?" And I said, "Sure, yeah, that'd be great." And then I went, "That's the last time you sleep in a rock star's dressing room." And then he's talking to me, and it's Bono, right? And I just saw Bruce Springsteen, and I went, oh! And I didn't listen to a word they said after that. I was like, and I couldn't go up and speak to him. I was just too,
I'll follow this up. It's interesting because growing up in America, I think we idolize British rock stars in a way that we don't our own American rock stars. Does it feel reversed? Does it because it was?
No, I mean I have it with I think I have it with rock stars with musicians in general. I don't really get starstruck when I see actors because I know what they're doing,
right.
you know. And, well, some of them are so great that I don't know what they're doing or how they do it. But Gary Oldman, to name one.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, when I see, I met Damon Albarn and I was totally tongue-tied.
Yeah.
But I just think Bruce Springsteen is a genius.
It's the coolest. Yeah.
And you know, Nebraska is just a seminal album for me that I just, you know, listen to all the time.
It's the old adage too of every actor wants to be a rock star. Too.
Yes, that's 100% right.
Well, this was great fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Paul Bettany.
Thank you for listening to me.
Keep it going and enjoy the rest of your Dallas Fan Festival.